Okay, so welcome to the Canucks Chatter live post-game show. I'm Rafal. With me here is Victor. So the Canucks lose Game 2, 4-1 to the Nashville Predators. Yeah, so the series is tied up on 1. What are your thoughts? What are your immediate feelings following the game, Victor?
Oh, get well soon, Thatcher Demko.
Yeah.
It was a lot of bad luck, but Casey DeSmith was not the reason why they lost tonight. But
No, he was not.
uh, he didn't make the save when we needed that. Demko would have, but this was just a weird game. Canucks really dominated for the majority of this game. So many shots on net, but not enough on target. So many were blocked. It was just frustrating, and Nashville took advantage. And like I said earlier, Smith did not make the save when we needed the save. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's like Canucks heavily outplayed them. I think at one point that Nashville had 30 something block shots. The shot attempts were like pretty crazy. I think during the third period, what was it? Midway through the third period, the shot attempts were 81 Vancouver to 26 Nashville. Like that's a pretty big discrepancy between the two. I think, like you said, it's not DeSmith's fault. That's not the reason they lost. They heavily outplayed Nashville. I mean, it was tough seeing the first goal go in on the first shot there. You already kind of start to panic a little bit.
That's something
Uh,
Demko would have made the save on.
I know I was thinking too, because okay, it's deflected, it's going far side, but I mean, if you look at Casey DeSmith there, he's really cheating to one side. I mean, not not an easy save to make, but
Like there was
yeah,
traffic, but I just felt like he couldn't track the puck. Like
yeah,
I'm not a goalie, but just from watching it on TV, it's something a top end goalie would be able to see where it is, or at least getting himself in position if he loses his track of where it is.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I think Demko would have probably had a better shot at making that save for sure. Okay, let's stick to goaltending. Obviously, earlier today, kind of a shock for everybody. We find out that Demko was injured in game 1, and now he's questionable for the rest of the series. Don't really know what that means. So, is he going to come back
It's
at all?
day
Is
to
he going
day.
to day to day like that? They're not going to reveal too much during the playoffs here. But so with Casey DeSmith, yeah, he didn't have a bad game. He didn't face a ton of shots, but like you said earlier, you need to make some of those saves. Like I look at that first, like the second one. What was the second goal? I'm trying to remember the second goal now. That was
No, the
what
third
was the
goal was
second?
Forsberg. Yeah,
No, the Forsberg was the second one, I think, right? Yeah, Forsberg was the second one. That's a tough
yeah.
one. That's a great move, and he
That was
goes,
bad defending where they just let him walk
yeah,
in.
yeah, for sure. That was that's a tough one to save his goal. I mean, that's a good move, and he's going, bar in. But the third goal, I'm curious what you think. Like, it's a rebound that comes out, and there's an empty net to shoot at. But I don't know, was that a great rebound to give up? I mean, it kind of hit him on the upper chest, and there's a tap in there. I mean, there's a series of bad defensive plays by Vancouver on that play, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. That it's nothing he could do. Yeah, could he have made the made a better save and maybe have a better rebound control? But that's why he's just a quality backup and not a number one superstar like Demko is. It's that it's the saves like that separates from the good to the average. And the Smith's been solid all year, but he has shown he's a solid, capable backup, not a
mhm.
pure out number one who's going to help you get to the cup. And that Demko makes that save, rebound gets pushed to the side, or even Saros probably makes the save and just knocks it away. Hey,
Yeah,
could the defending been a little bit better? Yes, but get in it, and it's just a series of unfortunate events. Like not having Tyler Myers as much as he is much maligned in this market. It he was very good in game one, and he he could have been a difference in that particular spot. And it's not. And Noah Jolson didn't have one of his better games. He hasn't been, who's been solid all year, and this reverted back to the Juleson we saw in the first few games, and he took a couple bad penalties and just all around, like even he with him and Susie making that poor read on that Forsberg goal, well, just letting him walk out, and that's just the way it is. And how do you see those events going?
Yeah, I think it's just a couple of breakdowns, right? That's really what it comes to. Like, I mean, Vancouver heavily outplayed them, like heavily outplayed them. I think like up until like towards the end of the third, like Nashville didn't even have a shot on goal. You know, like Vancouver just, you play that game again, they probably should win it. And just watching that game and them not having Demko in net, I sort of feel like it reaffirms my belief that Vancouver is going to win this series. Like they should win this series. Like, the amount of chance they had, the power plays. I think that's one area that they're going to kind of look back on and wish they did more out of was the power plays. And I think there's, if you go on Twitter, there's a lot of people kind of talking about Elias Pettersson right now and kind of how he was playing that game. Boy, I thought he had a tough time in that game. He had an empty net towards the end of that first period on the power play, a cross crease pass that he missed the net. He hit the side of the net. Earlier on, I think in that same power play, he had a cross crease pass that he Saros was down. And instead of shooting, he tries to thread a pass to the front of the net. I thought that was just an opportunity right there. You got to just shoot that puck. You have about a half a net to shoot at. I don't know if it's just a confidence thing. Like he's got a great shot, but maybe he just doesn't feel confident in his shot right now. But like, I don't know what do you think? Like I feel like Pettersson is, we know how good he can be, but I don't know if he's overthinking it or it's a confidence thing. Like what do you think?
I think he has to be injured. The first half of the season lights out in the MVP conversation, and after the All-Star game, all of a sudden he reverts to some average guy, right? And that's not him. So it has to be an injury that he's hiding from the public view, that behind the scenes they know about it, because there's no way a player like that is all of a sudden just becoming average. And he's dominant. He's used to dominating. He's carrying the puck and he's still making plays. Just not carrying the line and dictating play like he can. And I think with the injury, and also it is definitely getting to him, and he's holding his stick a little bit tighter and just unable to make that final decision and that right play on that third goal with that awful giveaway. Then
yeah,
that's so uncharacteristic of him. Even Quinn Hughes was making uncharacteristic plays. That first Nashville goal, he just kept falling, and just all game long. I don't know. This was not.
I feel like he had a good game over. Like Hughes had a good, like offensively anyway. He was, walking that line, had a lot of shots.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for him to completely dominate. Hughes has been solid so far. He's a little bit of inconsistencies, but he's doing what he can. And a little bit more production from the big boys would be greatly appreciated, but it's not from a lack of trying. That's every single player on that team is showing tons of effort, and just bad bounces tonight is the only way you can really say it. And just got to give Nashville credit too. Them blocking so many shots, getting in the shooting lanes.
A ton of shots. I don't think they can keep that up every game, blocking that many shots.
Yeah, Vancouver played physical, and just unfortunate. And hopefully they can put it behind them and get to Game 3.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like you said, like they had a lot of chances, and it's like I think the narrative right now is like, oh, they couldn't score, they couldn't. The big guys didn't get anything going in the power play, but like just a couple of those pucks, a few inches that way and this way, they're almost in. Like there was a pass in front, I think going off the skate of Pettersson just wide. Like there was just so many chances that were so close, and like I mean they were just
stick blowing up.
Yeah, that one timer, a stick just disintegrates in half.
They were a couple posts from making it. Could have been 3-1.
Yeah,
and the narrative could be completely different.
I mean, even that first period, like Nashville scores, the first goal, but the first period, like still Vancouver dominated that period, right? Like they had so many chances and they had a lot of power plays. They just couldn't. It was just a little bit off. Like the passes were just a little bit off. but they were close. They were they were getting chances. They had the setup on the in the zone on the power play. Yeah, you like their looks. I just felt a little snake bitten. A couple of bad defensive plays, like we said on the goals, but like I don't think Vancouver played an awful game by any stretch. It's just, and like you said, Saros, you got to give him credit too. And then the Predators, like they blocked a ton of shots. I thought Saros, he made some big saves for them, and yeah,
Canucks carried play, and the top six did their part in creating chances. Just need to finish. The bottom six weren't as visible tonight. The third line of Garland, Joshua, and Lindholm were nowhere near as dominant as they were or in the previous game. Lindholm kind of slid back into a tertiary role and just let the top six handle, and he kind of just he didn't struggle, but he failed to make an impact as much as he did in game one.
Yeah, definitely the bottom six wasn't the same as game one. I mean, obviously Joshua had those 2 goals in game one, one of them an empty netter. Okay, so some of the positives, the offense was there. They heavily outshot them. Is there anything that from this game that kind of worries you, or are you just kind of thinking that, okay, you know what, they just had some bad bounces and they'll rebound next game?
Everything worries me. That's just overthinking because it's the playoffs. Everything is difficult.
Right, yeah.
But there's a lot of positives out of that. And just a little bit more puck luck can keep that structure, because the structure was there even though they were pushing to get those goals. They kept Nashville outside, and if they can get the save, that's going to be big and keeps them out. And the counterattack and head back the other way, get a little bit of puck luck. Like playing in Nashville is not going to be easy, because that building is going to be loud for game 3. And tonight I may be biased, but I thought being there for game 1, I thought the crowd was into it the whole time, even after Nashville scored the first goal. The Canucks crowd was still into it, and when they were down 2-1, the crowd was still in it as well. Tonight, after they were down 1-0, it seemed like the crowd did not have the same energy as game 1. How did you see? As you've seen both games on TV, what was it like game 1 when they were trailing? How the crowd sound on TV and compared to tonight?
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, I wish I would have been at the game 1 in person like you. But yeah, it definitely, it was a little bit different. Like the crowd was, definitely more into it, even when they were down in the first game. This game was kind of like I don't know, like a nervousness, like that the crowd felt like they knew that Vancouver was carrying the play, but they just couldn't score. And as time kept progressing, and more shots were getting blocked, it just kind of this belief of like, I don't know if they're going to get back in it. And that's especially during the third period. I was like, slowly over time, like more blocks and it just chances just missed. Kind of felt like, what, I don't know if this game is, if Vancouver's going to get back in this game. But yeah, we'll see. I think it'll be interesting to see how Nashville plays in front of their home crowd, because as we know, like their barn is pretty loud. That's definitely a hockey market over there in Nashville. But
yeah,
I do think that Vancouver are still just, I don't know, they just look like the better team. And I think if you play this same game over a few times, Vancouver's going to win more often than they're going to lose.
Yeah, you can't win them all. No team's that going to go 16-0 in the playoffs. And it's not even a mulligan. It's just the other team did their thing and they got their puck luck. You need puck luck in every game, and they got it. And you got to be good to be lucky. You got to be lucky to be good. Put it behind them and move on to game 3 and start fresh. Now, take back home ice advantage with one win in Nashville and go from there.
Yeah. Was there any other players other than like that kind of stood out for you in a positive light? I mean, we talked about Pettersson maybe struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
Who do you think had a good night?
Big Z in the back there. He has been, I would say he's been the best player all this through the first 2 games.
Physical, big body,
Yeah.
laying the
Scored a
body
goal
around.
tonight. He's taking no prisoners, and he's been calm with the puck. No glaring mistakes. He's just been really good so far. Or he is thriving off the crowd out. He is built for playoff hockey right now. There is nothing about his game. I don't know how much money he's going to ask for in the offseason, but if you're just signing up for the playoffs, give him that 5x5.
5x5. I mean, I think he's been great. He's just such a big body, and he's when you're that big, you got to be physical, and he is physical, and he's not. Sometimes you're afraid, from some of his past mistakes that he pinches or makes a bad read, but we haven't seen that yet in the playoffs. I think he's been great. Okay, so we talked about the goaltending. Don't know when Demko's coming back. DeSmith is going to likely play Game 3, I would assume, unless there's some big news and Demko just feels great all of a sudden. But I think for Vancouver, you're probably thinking, okay, well, even if he's kind of fighting through something, you don't want to throw him back in there and have an opportunity for him to maybe just make the injury worse or re-aggravate it. So if you're thinking long-term, it's probably keep him out until he's good. We're good enough to beat this Nashville team, and let's make sure he's back either towards the end of the series or into round 2, right?
Yeah, I want Demko at his best. I want Bubble Demko. Bubble Demko was there in Game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he got hurt during that game at some point and has to miss tonight's game. And I would be actually tempted to put Seelovs in there just to see if he looks calm out there. Because last year at the World Championships, and that was a high pressure situation, and he was amazing for Latvia. Got them a bronze medal. He's tournament MVP. Why not throw him out there? But on the other hand, DeSmith deserves a Game 3 start. As he's played well all year, and he's been there, and give him another shot. The series is tied at 1. He is the de facto backup, and put him in. And would you make any other changes to the lineup?
I think it's hard to make changes when you were the better team. Like what are you realistically going to change? Like you said, I think you're going to put in DeSmith there, and again, I don't think he was the reason they lost. Maybe you hope for an extra save on one of those chances, and maybe that changes the game in some ways. But like outside of maybe a fringe play, like I just keep it rolling, and I'm just curious to what's going on with Pettersson, because like you said, maybe it is an injury, but some of those plays, like that one time where we had an empty net, sometimes you miss, right? That just happens.
Yeah.
But I just feel like he's passing too much. And at times during the power play, like there was chances for a shot and he would just do one extra pass, especially him, Pettersson. Like he had some great chances to shoot it on net, get some screens going. And there's just a little too much passing on the outside. I don't know.
He's hesitating that split second that lets the goalie and the defense set up, and he's just been misfiring. I've seen a few, not just this series, but the last couple of months, where it looks like he's got a setup for a one-timer, and either his stick explodes or he'll hit it off the heel of his stick, and just hasn't been able to hit that booming shot of his. So I wonder if it's like a shoulder, a rib.
Well, it's even his body language after, right? Like when he misses that one timer at the end of the first period, his body language is just like, oh, he looks up and his head's down. There was a couple times where he just had this kind of dejected look, like he's just, nothing's really going right for him. Maybe it is an injury, but I just, I think some of it is just, I don't know, indecisiveness or not sort of being as confident in as I think it's being not as confident in his shot, because it's too much. He's got a great shot, like, especially when you're getting a cross-crease pass. Like, I don't know do you remember that one in the first period where he does get a cross-crease pass? I believe he's on the power play, and Saros is just way down, and he tries to thread it in front for like a tap-in. Like, he has so much to shoot at. I just don't know why he didn't shoot there.
Yeah, I think if he is injured, he's overcompensating and just thinking too much out there instead of just reacting.
Yeah, could be.
When he just reacts, things go in, but he's not must be. Let's just say it's a shoulder. he knows I gotta adjust this way so it doesn't hurt, doesn't make it worse, or so he'll try to, and he'll go this way,
Yeah,
and then
could be.
doubt, second guesses himself. Like we've been there when we play, we get our confidence is down. Like, oh no, what am I do? And then you end up hitting the heel of your stick or letting the pass go through, and
Right.
him on a whole different level is probably like, oh man, I got to take the shot, and then you just can't do it, and when you have to let it go natural, you can't just when you overcompensate, something goes wrong on most occasions.
Yeah, I mean, like I think it's like you said, like if you're overthinking it, you're playing the best when you're just reacting. You're not even thinking, right? Just instincts kick in, and maybe that's it. And there's still a lot of time in this series for him to kind of step it up or play better or just figure out a different route if he is injured. Um, I thought Quinn Hughes. It's hard because like the Canucks, they just had a couple of just like mistakes, and I think Nashville was opportunistic, and credit to them. They had some big goals, but like I think even for them, they played great defensively, but like what? You're not really afraid of their offense. So I think if Canucks just keep playing within their structure and drive the play offensively, which they're doing, like I think they'll be good, pretty well set for Game 3 and onwards. What do you think?
Yeah, they as long as they contain that top line, I think Forsberg, Nyquist, and O'Reilly,
Mm-hmm.
they I would say they won the battle tonight. They were very visible when they had the puck. They created chances. Is more than the other lines, and if that line is shut down, you force the other three lines to create offense, and that's where Vancouver will come in handy. Like if Lindholm gets the assignment against that top line, freeing up Miller or line or Pedersen's line to go on the offensive, that would be great. Or if they want to match up O'Reilly and Miller again, if we can get Lindholm going again, that third line's been great since they've been put together. If they get that time and space, and maybe they'll score 2 goals in 10 seconds again.
Yeah, yeah. What did you think of JT Miller's game?
Not as good as game one.
Mm-hmm.
Still visible, but the some of the decision making wasn't as good. Or a couple times he had a shot and passed it up for a pass, or pulled the old Alex Edler and shot it right into the defender.
Right. I think that might
Look
have gotten into some of the Canucks players' heads. There's so many shots were getting blocked that they just were too hesitant to shoot it at the net because they were afraid of it not getting through and forcing some of those passes.
They were pressing and
yeah,
holding the sticks a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
In game one, the team, every man that was interviewed said the crowd was like a seventh man for them, and really we kept them in it. And I don't think the crowd gave them that same type of boost outside of the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I think I was reading on Twitter. I didn't hear it during the game. Maybe I just didn't have my my volume up high enough. But I read on Twitter that someone was saying that even after the goal went in on the first goal on DeSmith, the crowd was chanting his name to kind of support him, which I thought was pretty awesome from the fans. Yeah, a little less loud, I guess. Sometimes just game one. This the first game. The Canucks haven't been to the playoffs for in a while. Now they're like, okay, it's game 2, game on. And then, the momentum and the anxiety of being a fan there, maybe it kind of gets to you. But
yeah, I think they could have also been down just because everyone not having Demko in there and knowing how important he is.
For sure.
You kind of felt it within the city, at least at my work, when we all heard about Demko. Oh, we went from being so excited for the game to like, oh no.
Right, because you're thinking onward too, not just this game. You're like, well, how long is it going to be gone for? And it's like, there's not many teams in this playoffs that have like a legit like number one guy that they're really confident in, right? Like Canucks, you have a couple of teams out there, Hellebuck and probably Vasilevsky and maybe Bobrovsky.
Shesterkin.
Well, Ottinger didn't even have a good game in game 1 for Dallas, right? Like he didn't have a very good game. But like Bobrovsky, Vasilevsky, they've been great. But the rest of the teams, they're kind of like, I mean, I guess Boston, you could say, right? They've got Allmark and Swayman, but yeah, when you lose that guy and Demko, you're a little worried. I think, especially if Vancouver can find a way to win this series and go on to round two, they're going to be really nervous if Demko's not ready by then, which hopefully he will be if that comes to it.
Yeah, playing LA or Edmonton, Demko will be needed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Smith beat Edmonton a couple times this year, but McDavid is still McDavid.
Oh yeah,
He's
5 assists first game. Yeah,
it's scariest player to watch in the league, and
yeah. I mean, LA's faced him now for the third time in the first round. They have no answer for him. He had 5 assists in game 1. And that's the thing. Like when you're facing a team like Nashville, like you said, the top line, or you got to shut them down. But you're not really worried about Colton Sissons and then some of these guys on the second, third line. Like they're no disrespect to them, but they're some of these other offensive teams. Like LA plays a defensive style, but they got some scores. And then Edmonton, we know what they got. Like it's going to be a different game plan when it comes to that. But
if Vegas gets through with their miracle healing powers from their players.
Yeah, maybe Demko's got to go to the same doctor that Mark Stone went to,
Yeah.
See if he gets get back in game 3. Go
down and visit the Vegas doctors and see how that works out.
Yeah, there must be something going good on there.
Same with Tampa. Got to go to those doctors.
Tampa, yeah. Find that doctor that worked on Kucherov as well a couple years ago. Yeah, I don't know. It should be interesting. Okay, anything else
I still have hope for this team. It's 2 games in. I never expected them to go 16-0. I know someone in one of my group chats expects them to go 16-0 and play the perfect game.
Yeah, there's those fans
in every single game. He's the comment section of the internet, but
right, freaking out over a loss.
The rest of us sane people were saying, and we knew it was going to be a long series, and there's still it's a best of 4, not a best of 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think it's what is it, like 48 hours or so between games? Like just the way you feel changes from game to game, right? Like I think it'd be different here if Nashville wins like 4-0 and they just outshoot Vancouver. Then you're like, I'm a little worried now. But that wasn't the case. Vancouver lost, but they outshot them, had way more chances. Like pretty much stat wise, they beat them in everything other than block shots, and so you probably feel pretty good about their chances. It's going to be a series. I'm sticking by. I still think that Vancouver's going to take it in 6. But I just think because Demko's not here, the gap between the two teams is maybe a little closer than it was before. But I still got Vancouver in 6.
Yeah, they're showing good fight back though. They're not giving up.
No.
Like game 1, they showed that. Nashville tried to push them around. They pushed right back and pushed them down. Tonight, same thing. Nashville tried to push them around. The team went, nope, they're pushing right back.
Yeah.
And that's all you want to see from them. Just get some puck luck and maybe a couple of those posts or those block shots go through Staros, and it's talking a whole different game then.
Yeah. I mean, if Vancouver scored earlier in the game, that could have changed completely the outset of what happens and the momentum and all that. They just had a hard time because they couldn't get that first goal. Though getting that momentum was hard. And when it's already 3-0 and you finally score, you get some momentum, but it's already, well through the game. But I don't know. I'm you're not worried. I'm not worried. I think lots of games to be played. Can't be discouraged. They played a good game. Just didn't get the bounces. Couple of mistakes. Keep on rolling. I mean, it's been a pretty much low scoring game. There's not a lot of shots. It's a very defensive, structured both sides.
Feels like the shot clock is wrong. I feel like both teams are shooting, and then you look at blocks. Shots are 3-2.
Yeah, I don't know I don't even know what the shots ended with. The last time I checked, it was like 18-12 or something like that, and it's like, it's already the third period.
Nashville got 3 shots in the third period.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. Like when
they all came in the final 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. They had that power play instead of just trying to score. They were just cycling around the boards back and forth to kill time.
Yeah, that's a good game plan.
No, it is. Yeah, you got to lead. Too. Yeah, you got to find a way to close it out, right? You don't want to try to sift one through and get a block shot and give Vancouver a chance to come back the other way shorthanded.
Exactly. Yes. They took care of business. Let's put this one in the rearview mirror. Look ahead to game 3 on Friday.
Yep. Anything else you want to add before we end the show here for today?
Yep. Optimist Union. Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's keep going. The next game, I believe, is Friday, Game 3 in Nashville.
At 4:30.
4:30. Was it
I will
4:30
not be
start
going
time?
to that game.
No, yeah. You're not taking a flight to the good old Nashville? No?
I don't know if the game starts at 4:30 or pre-game starts at 4:30.
Okay. So if pregame, then it would be 5. I got to check.
Yeah.
I haven't even checked what time the game starts. It'll be on Friday, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah, give us a follow here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Twitter. You know, our handles are right there.
Yeah, that's my Instagram is the same right there. Yeah, can't do this.
Yeah,
Twitter
right there.
and Instagram are the same one.
I can't even remember my Instagram, but you'll I'll post it somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, we're here on Instagram too, at Canucks Chatter.
Yeah, Canucks Chatter on Instagram. Follow us there till game 3, and we'll see you then.
Toodles.